friend, and welcome into another bonus author discussion about these life-changing stories. With me today is Hadassah Troy. Hadassah, welcome. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with me today.
Thanks so much for the invitation. It's really a pleasure for me that I can be here and I can share a little bit about my story and maybe give some additional insights that will help the readers of the book.
I love your story so much. I don't because I know how painful it is, but I do because I know that we've all experienced this kind of thing. And I think that the
Yes,
listener and the reader is really going to be able to pick this up and say, oh, yeah, I've been there too. And so I guess just thank you for sharing your painful story and your vulnerable heart, because I really do feel like it's really encouraging. So, uh, what was the needed transformation? We're talking about life-changing stories here. And what did you realize
yes.
through this experience that the Lord was inviting you, something in your heart needed to transform or change? Talk to us just a little bit about what you realized that was.
Yes, I shared my story about the betrayal of my best friend at this time and how God actually healed my heart from the wound of betrayal. And obviously, there was some need of transformation, and I can summarize for me that this transformation was actually took place on four levels. So the needed transformation. The first level was the need of forgiveness and the need to keep a pure heart.
Mm.
I think this is an everyday need, but this was really, really a struggle to keep my heart pure and to process all this wound and to have a soft and forgiving heart. And I think the Lord also showed me that it is very important and it is our responsibility to keep our heart pure. That the main focus is really on our heart, and we don't have control over the reactions of other people, over their actions. We don't have control over their words or what they do to us or not do to us, but we really have control of our heart attitudes. So this was the first level of needed transformation. The second level was also very important. It was the need to learn to practice lament and mourning. So
Mm.
I knew about lament. I knew theoretically about lament and mourning, but this betrayal forced me practically, really, to practice biblical lament and to learn to mourn my losses and to express all these painful feelings and emotions, to learn how to express it in a safe environment with the Lord, in His arms. So this was very important. And the third level of needed transformation was actually to examine my ideas and concept of this best friends forever concept. And actually to understand and to learn that I have only one best friend forever. And this is the Lord, because He's the only one who could qualify to be my best friend forever. And okay, I may have close friends, but really only one best friend forever. And the fourth and the last level of transformation is that actually this whole story with the betrayal and the processing forced me to develop the more closer and deeper friendship with my husband. So part of this was really to transfer um, this whole part of the relationship which I had with my best friend at this
Mm.
time, actually to direct it and to share much more of my heart with my husband. So this was the fourth level of transformation.
Wow. First of all, I can tell that you've done a lot of internal work to understand the transformation that the Lord was inviting you, and how do I articulate this transformation? So just thank you for making that so clear, because I think sometimes for me that's a process. I can feel something going on in there. I'm
Yes,
trying to listen, It's not very clear to me for a little while, right? And then but it's sometimes it's easier to sort of push that away than it is to
Yes,
sit in that uncomfortable and say, okay, I feel you teaching me something and I want to learn. So I just want to thank you for sitting in that place, learning it, but then taking the care to how do I then like articulate this, so someone else can pick it up because I think you just do such a
yes,
beautiful job of that, Hadassah. So I want to go through these. I wrote them down as you were taking. So the four levels of transformation that you
yes,
experienced through this was really to that our heart, the purity of our heart is of the utmost concern to the Lord, right? And that's
absolutely.
our
Ab-
responsibility. That's what
Yes,
those are my
yes,
words, not yours, but
yes,
that's it. And
yes,
then
yes,
two, I love this about practicing lamenting and mourning. And I think the Lord calls us to that because stuffing it isn't helpful,
yes,
right? That
absolutely.
goes back to that the quality of
Yes,
our heart or the purity of our heart because I'm telling you, if I don't get something out, it's going to come out in a different way, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, so to be able to say actually the right place to take this sorrow, anger,
yes,
sadness is to the Lord. Number 3 was examining the concept of BFF. I love that.
yes.
I love that because we say that pretty flippantly in our culture.
Mm-hmm.
She's my BFF. This is my BFF. And
Yes,
it's
yes,
cute. But when I appreciate what you're saying, and that is that forever places an expectation on someone that no one really can not with the faithfulness that the Lord can provide, right? There's yeah. So he's
yes,
the one that we need to know that this is the one that will always
yes,
be in my life. And then 4, I think this is really interesting, and I did not see you going here, and I love it. Number 4 was to cultivate a deeper friendship with your husband. I can really receive that because I know one of the things the Lord has taught me is that sometimes I say things to my friends because it's easier than working through that with my husband, and yet
yes,
that keeps him at a distance from me.
yes, yes,
Somehow it puts space between my heart and
yes,
his. And I think that that is a huge thing in this for those of us who are married. Not everyone is, of course, but for those of us who are
yes,
married to say, how much is your close friendship a substitute for what God has designed? Because doing that
exactly.
in our marriage is too hard sometimes. Yeah.
And I had somehow this prejudice in my mind that my husband could not understand me so well as, for
Uh,
example, my best friend, which is,
mhm.
of course, a lie, which was
Right.
not true.
Yes.
And as much as I then shared with him, he opened up, and I saw and I understood that it was actually some kind of delusion or a false concept that I had in my
I
head.
really appreciate you saying that today. And I do think that there are things that girlfriends are so important in my life. I mean, my husband does not want to go to see every movie that I want to go see, and but my girlfriend
Yes,
might. My husband does not want to go,
yes,
get my toes done with me. My girlfriend might, So there are definitely things that, and even just deep conversations with friends are so valuable and important
yes,
unless we're circumventing that primary relationship with them, and then I think that
yes,
that can be a red
yes,
flag, so
yes,
I really
yes,
appreciate that today. So, so what did this process of transformation require you to surrender? Because a lot of times the
yes,
reason that we need transformation is because we're holding on tightly to something that isn't serving us well, right? Do
exactly.
you know kind of what that was and what you needed to let go?
Yes, I think that the main things to let go were rights or things that I thought are my rights or I
Ah,
perceived as rights. And for example, what I mean is the right to be and to feel offended,
mm,
or the right to be treated fairly and in the way I expect this, and just and fair, in a just and a fair way. The right of reconciliation, the right of vindication, the expectations to have a clarifying conversation and perhaps to save the friendship, the right to be right, my ideas and visions of a friendship that can last for a lifetime. And as I also mentioned, my whole BFF concept.
yeah.
And also my tendency to stuff my feelings. This is what I need to give up. And my fear and unwillingness to deal with painful emotions. So I think it's a pretty long list.
That is.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a long list, and I'm gonna assume then this took some time, right, to kind of
Yes.
work through this.
Yes.
Yes.
The whole process of healing, of course, took time.
Mhm.
I shared my story, and it is a short, condensed story, but healing is painful, it's messy, it takes time.
Yeah.
simply takes time.
Yeah.
And work with the Lord,
Yeah,
to sit
work
with
with the
Him,
Lord
to
and going back to him with the same need.
yes,
One of the things that he's working on my heart right now, which I'm feeling as you're talking, is that sometimes you said about like the right of being offended or the right to have that reconciling conversation or the right to be right or those things.
yes,
Sometimes somebody will do something to me or something will happen and it really does hurt me very deeply and I can take that to the Lord, but he's inviting me into this like new step of healing. Like I see that it really hurts you and you come and lament here and mourn and all of that is good, but if we can maybe we can look at some of the assumptions that you're making that are
yes,
being violated that is causing this deep wound. Because if we can
yes,
have fewer, I hear what you're saying, if we can have fewer assumptions about what is due us, then
yes,
when those things are not met, then it won't wound you this severely, right? And I really hear him in what you're saying in my own life today as we're talking.
yes. I'm glad to hear that
Mhm.
that this also speaks to you
It
and God.
does. Yeah, it
Yes,
for sure does. Because the
going.
hurt is very real, and that's
Yes,
not right, and that's not wrong. But I think it's really good to examine. It's pretty deep stuff we're talking about here, but it's really good to examine
yes,
what happened or what was I hoping for or expecting or
exactly.
that didn't happen that has
Our
left me in this place.
expectations really play a very important role in
Mhm.
how we perceive what is going also in our healing. I'm learning more and more, and I'm really in my writing and in my speaking, I'm talking a lot about expectations and the role about our expectations. And for example, when we have fixed expectations about something, and yeah, they really play a role, our visions, our thoughts, our expectations, and these perceived rights,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I
say.
love how you're framing that. It's very clear to me. It's very clear. So, well, how is the transformation that you experienced through this story and other things I'm sure that were going on in your life at the time, but how has that affected your life? What are the fruits of that today? How do you see that change being something that's been
Yes.
positive for you?
Uh, this whole transformation had really a profound effect on me and on my life. And I called it a training in letting go, in mourning, in dealing with loss, in dealing with death, because this was, in this case, death of the relationship. And actually, this was kind of God's preparation for me to experience the biggest loss and death in my life 2 years later when I lost my husband
Oh,
unexpectedly. And I think this was kind of a testimony and yeah, testimony and that the Lord demonstrated to me and showed me that healing is possible. Um, it is possible to process very painful emotions with Him. It is possible to sit with Him to find healing. And as I said, I look back and I see it like this. Okay, first it was the betrayal and this very painful process of healing. And then this prepared me for something even worse, that I can deal with the Lord with something worse that happened in my life that I could never foresee,
yeah.
so to say.
Right. And you see that you have dealt with your husband's death differently than you believe that you have dealt with it differently or better or more productively than you would have without this experience,
Yes,
right? Yeah. Mhm.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
think that the Lord really prepared me to deal with this. Not only, of course, with the wound of the betrayal, but all the years before that, strengthening my faith, strengthening my relationship with Him, pouring into me, because he strengthened my faith. And without this, I think if this happened, for example, 5 years earlier, or
Earlier, right. Mhm.
I guess I would have crashed, and my faith would have crashed too. Really, because this is the heaviest blow that I ever experienced in my life,
Of
the
course.
heaviest.
Yeah.
Yes, but this was I'm thinking more and more and thinking more and more like this, like clearly very timely preparation, very timely training, very timely strengthening of my whole being, of my faith, of my relationship with Him. So when this abyss, when this dark valley came, then I'm able to really with him pass through this dark valley and um, and find healing and find hope. And not only find healing and hope, but simply this thinking that healing is possible.
Yeah.
It's possible to overcome the worst, because for me, this was my worst fear. So my worst fear materialized, so to say.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
the healing from betrayal helped me to find healing from this heavy loss and really to learn how to deal with death, with
Yeah.
facing
Yeah.
loss.
Yeah. Yeah. Hadassah, you are a treasure. I mean that. Yeah, I really appreciate this conversation. Thank you for sharing your story, but today, thank you for sharing these pieces of your heart and that really deep and private and intimate work that the Lord has done in your heart. Because by allowing us to see that work in you, I know I, for one, and I know I'm not the only one, feel that invitation. And that hope that the Lord wants to and can do that work in us as well. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure for me to be here. Thanks.
And thank you, friend, for listening. Until next time, peace.